Hi there, right, well welcome back to the channel. So update for you. The previous video I posted was I'm going to name this Excelsior class kit the USS Melbourne. I've ordered some more decals today and by the looks of it the Melbourne isn't actually an option, despite what I read on other posts. So maybe I ordered the wrong one or they changed them, but this ship and the video title may well end up being the USS Valley Forge, but we'll come back to that later. But yes, so a bit more detail of the kit and or what's inside what was the box. So basically this is the same sort of section you saw the other day, and this is the lower section. And basically what I've started doing already is there's a mix of recessed panel lines and raised panel lines on here, which is a bit annoying and a bit bizarre to have two and not the other. One of each, sorry. So what I've been doing is going around sanding down all of the raised lines here. You can see a bit more on the bottom of the saucer here. So I've been sanding all of these along, and then a bit of a watch of some of the Star Trek episodes and some of the movies that have got the Excelsior in it, and this ridged line you can see here isn't actually present on the studio model, and I always found it a bit annoying. I think some of the decals I'm going to have in the new set go round here, so I've decided to sand it off so it's all getting to be as smooth as a baby's bum. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with this video build, make sure you click that subscribe button down there and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. So that out of the way, it's going to finish sanding away all of this, glue on the funny little curved section that goes here for the back of the impulse deck, and then yeah, get rid of all these lines here. They're a bit more fiddly here because you've got these, I think they're phaser emplacements, and get rid of all those details, but that'd be nice. And then yes, all the decal set, we're basically going to put all Aztecing here, and actually the ridge, the trench that goes around there, so that'd be quite good. And you can start to see how big this old ship is, because that there is the Enterprise in the same scale. So she's going to be big. What else have we got? So I've done the same thing for the secondary hull. So this is covered in ridges with the raised details. They've all gone, and I've glued in the navigational deflector. Then we have the top of the secondary hull. This will all be covered in decals, but it's nice and smooth as well, which is good. Then on this sprue we have some of the stand. Now, it's a funny stand. It's meant to just hold the ship up in a bit of a this arrangement, hard to do with one hand. Yeah, so cradle the ship with two of those, if you imagine. So either do that or put her on a pole, not sure yet. And then here we've got some of the neck with its famous virtually impossible to sand and smooth down joins, and then the shuttle bay. Some more of the nacelle housing. There's that funny curve bit I was talking about, the impulse section. Here's the connector between the warp nacelles and the secondary hull, so stick those two together by the looks of it. Yes. Very basic, not massively detailed hangar bay. And then these are the bottom of the two nacelles. So one of them, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yes, started sanding away some of the ridges. Hopefully you can see the bit of a difference there between the two. And then last but not least, I'm going to leave it in the bag because I don't want to break them, is all the clear parts. Now in a lot of the videos I've seen, the nacelles are clear blue on the top and black on the sides, but then in the Voyager flashback episode that the Excelsior shows up in, it's the other way around. So you have black top, blue sides. So I might do that because it'd be a bit more interesting. And then the guy I bought it off had this set here. This is these JT Graphics decals, which are fantastic quality, but I'm probably not going to be able to use a lot of them. But it's nice to have. So yes, so it's a whole lot of sanding the foreseeable future. and possible renaming. But hey ho, can't have everything. But yes, it's going to be an exciting, fun build. Hi there, we're right. Fast forward a couple of days and we have made some good progress on the Melbourne. So here you have a laid out Excelsior class kit. I've built it up into sort of various sub-assemblies and done lots and lots and lots of sanding, try and get some of the, to be honest, a bit of grime off the kit. It's just a very old kit. 1994 I found on one of the pieces. But basically try and sort of smooth everything down, get rid of those panel lines I was talking about. Gave this lower hull coated primer, a few little touch spots here and there, and then painted the inside of the hangar bay. So that's all looking good. Yeah, so smoothed the top of the secondary hull. That's just had a smooth. Put the neck together. As much fun as that was. The stand, I wasn't too minded whether or not to put the Melbourne on the stand similar to the Polar Lights one or not, but it involves a lot of engineering and hole cutting and stuff, and I'm not sure if I can be bothered. So I'm going to use the supplied stand, glued the nacelle bottoms and the cross struts together, and then laid it down flat for a good 24 hours. Make sure it's all nice and square and everything, so that's looking good. These had loads of raised panel lines all over the length of these warp nacelles, but that's all gone now, so that's good. And then, yeah, the main thing was lots of sanding of the extra raised details and panel lines off of the saucer section. So it's all stuck together now, so it's all nice and smooth. I'm going to wait to see what happens with the decals arrived to either get rid of these phaser bank emplacements or rescribe some of the panel lines to come from the centre out. I'm not sure if I need to, so I don't want to do it until I get those. And then flipping it over, the same sort of thing here. So I give it another light sanding, but then yeah, this has got a bit of a seam here. Ooh, around the edge of the kit. Just need to finish off giving him a few extra sands and polishes in various different degrees of sandpaper, or sanding sticks rather. But yeah, it's all coming together. So the sun is shining. So it'd be quite nice to try and get some of this outside to dry in the sunshine this afternoon. As we're working from home in the UK and everyone's in lockdown, it'd be nice to get a bit of sunshine on the kit and hopefully dry things up a bit faster. I've ordered a few more bits of paint. So I've got some white grey and some sort of light bluey turquoisey colour. The deflector dish in particular, and a few other bits and pieces coming. And the decals hopefully should arrive next week as well. So yes, we are making progress, as they say. So let's see what happens next. Right, well here we are, fast forward a couple of days and we now have a completely painted and now sealed USS Melbourne hull section. So we've got the nacelles here all dry nicely, and then we've got the primary hull top and bottom. As you can see here, it's all nicely and shiny and hardened up with the gloss, and then painted the blue stripy bits on the nacelles, the royal blue I think it was from Vallejo, and then clears those with Tamiya clear. Actually went back and repainted the hull. I started off painting it with this here, which is the Vallejo model colour sky grey, and thought it was a bit tepid, a bit of a funny colour, so I repainted some sections, some of the sort of the panel lines here and a few bits and pieces with a much darker colour, in this case a neutral grey, and you can see some of the pre-shading underneath coming through just to break up that very big saucer, and then painted the whole ship again with a Royal Light Grey XF80. So it's all coming along really well. Left it for a couple of days and then yeah, clear coated the entire thing with some Tamiya clear, which is good. And then these fellows arrived in the post. So you probably, if you've ever built an Excelsior, probably more familiar than with me. But this is a very large cartograph decal set. It comes for two versions. So we have the much sort of more tealy colour versions of the decals. This is for the NX 2000 Excelsior. And you can see all this sort of this bits are going around the saucer. Not quite sure yet why there's two of them, but we'll find that out. And then the more blue versions are for the NCC 2000 version, which I'm going to use for the Melbourne. So lots of decals to put on. Some of these parts you probably can paint if you wanted, but or use a template painting mask, but I thought I'd go with the decals, a bit more exciting as we're under lockdown. And it also comes with this amazing set of Aztecing. So I was in two minds whether or not that colour is going to throw off the application of the decal. I'm pleased to say it hasn't. So lots and lots of pie-sized, pie-shaped pieces rather for the primary hull, the top and the bottom. This is the trench that goes round on the underneath of the saucer, and you get a bit of a spare section here, which is quite good to keep, and bits and pieces that go around the edges. And the last piece here is some more, I think these are for the nacelles. Well, that looks at them long and thin. That's probably the nacelles. Registry markings, you get a choice of 3 ships. You get the Hood, the Melbourne and the Valley Forge, and all the associated markings there. This funny circle one is the hangar bay at the rear of the ship for the NX version of the Excelsior, and you can see you cut out some of these sections already. You do get this quite cool NCC-2000 USS Excelsior and NX version if you wanted to make a display stand. It looks like something you could fit onto a round tube base. This kit rather doesn't come with a round tube base, which is a bit annoying, but never mind. So I had a bit of a play, you can see, by cutting them all out. And I'm pleased to say we have a test bed. So this is the secondary hull. So try and get you a bit closer here. So yeah, I started putting these on last night, so it's sitting on a clear gloss coat, and you can see some of the Aztecing coming through quite nicely. I don't think the colour is too dark, the base coat, but it's close enough. You can see 3 distinct colour squares and rectangles and all sorts of Aztecing. It's quite subtle underneath it. And you get the pie slices here. These are decals. I think the newer version of the kit does actually have a section here that's all sort of slightly recessed, so you can sort of put the stickers in yourself. Oh, sorry, the decals in yourself. A bit better. Had one minor blip there. If you fold over these decals when you're placing them, you have a real problem trying to get them back up. So don't do what I did, but you learn from your mistakes, eh? And the blue section leading up to the tail there, and then this dark pattern here I painted on before I put the gloss coat on, so that's that neutral grey, just to make it a bit more different as per the reference photos. And then you can see the back of the ship, and then there's a bit of Tamiya panel liner. Just need to clean that up there before putting the final gloss coat on. But yeah, it's looking really, really cool. So that's all coming along. So I'm going to leave this video here and then crack on with the rest of the decals. They go on pretty quickly. I've been using the Microsol Microset version of decal softener. I find these are a little bit better sticking the pieces down than the Tamiya Mock Fit, because some of them are a bit smaller in places and a bit more fiddly, and this seems to stick down and pull onto the actual plastic more. So yes, let's crack on with it. So yeah, click subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the progress, and hope you and your family are well with the lockdown across the world. Alright, take care, speak to you soon, bye bye.